I'm coming to you this weekend with a little recipe I'm going to try out for the first time. In 2 weeks, it's going to be my son's 14th birthday, and I cannot believe he's going to be 14 years old already. It just seems like it's happened like that. And he's kind of the reason I got started making cakes and decorating them. I wanted to be able to make my kids cakes for their birthdays, and so that's kind of where it all started 14 years ago. Now he's getting to the age where he wanted, instead of a decorated cake, he wanted me just to make a different type of a cake. More specifically, he wanted tiramisu. Now, I love tiramisu. I have never made it before, and it seems a little overwhelming, a little challenging, but I got the recipe out of the Complete America's Test Kitchen TV show cookbook. I don't know if you've ever watched America's Test Kitchen, but it's a really cool show. I like all their tips and their ideas that they give. But it's a humongous book because it's 18 years worth of recipes. So I knew they had to have a tiramisu recipe, and they do. So that's what I'm going to be using to make the tiramisu. Now, they do have tiramisu with cooked eggs. You usually use raw eggs, which kind of scared me a little bit, but they have a version where you can make it with cooked eggs, so that's what I'm going to make. I looked it up. My eggs don't say they're pasteurized. I read online if they're pasteurized eggs, you can cook them, or you don't have to cook them. They can be raw. But that kind of creeps me out, and nowhere on the packaging did it say that my eggs were pasteurized. So we're just going to go with cooking the eggs on a double broiler. So what I've done right now is I've brewed coffee. It had to be sitting at room temperature. I also, it says to mix in espresso powder. Now, I couldn't find espresso powder, but I did have some instant coffee powder, so I just threw it in there. We'll see how that works. All right. It also calls for rum, and I'm going to be omitting that for this recipe. I may, for the real recipe, I may go ahead and try to find some type of an extract to use for it. I should, by the way, mention this is I'm doing a test run of this for our small group that meets tomorrow. We do a Bible study in our home at Sunday nights, and our small group is going to get to be my guinea pig. So if you're watching this, get ready. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate the rum, and then I'm going to cook my eggs over a double broiler, mix in the heavy cream, sugar, and then we'll add the mascarpone cheese to that, and I'm going to make whipped cream. Fold the whipped cream into the cheese mixture. Then you're going to take your lady fingers, dip it in the coffee mixture, put a layer of the lady fingers down, put a layer of the cheese mixture down, cocoa powder, lady fingers again, cheese mixture again, and then top it off with cocoa powder and grated chocolate. Then you just refrigerate it for 6 to 12 hours or 24 hours and serve it, and that should be it. So we'll see. Fingers crossed this works, and hopefully this will be a really good dessert that I can make, not only just for birthdays, but for lots of great family gatherings. Okay, so I'm going to take my egg yolks. I have 6 egg yolks in this bowl, and to that I'm going to add my sugar and salt mixture. Now, if you are doing this without cooking your eggs, you would do this in a food mixer until they're light and fluffy. But right now, since I'm doing this in a double boiler, I'm going to just mix them together with a whisk. And then it says to add 1/3 of a cup of heavy cream. So I'm going to add that there. I'm going to whisk this together. My water on my pan is starting to heat up. I need to heat it to simmer. Once I do that, I will cook this for about 4 to 7 minutes until it measures 160 degrees and it coats the back of a spoon. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. It's tricky because you have to keep constantly stirring it. You don't want the eggs to get too hot or they will cook, and then you just have scrambled eggs and sugar, which is nasty. So we'll see how this goes. I have cooked my eggs. They are now safe for us to eat. I it took about 7 or 8 minutes for it to reach 160 degrees. So as soon as it hit 160, I took it off, put it in my bowl now. I've got my whisk attachment on, and now I'm going to add the mascarpone cheese, and I really hope I'm saying that correctly. The lady at Walmart had no clue what it was, but they actually had it at our Walmart, so I was really impressed. I've never ate it before, but it says it's good for bagels, toast, and tiramisu. So if you ever have bagels or toast, you can try it out. So the recipe calls for 3 cups or 1.5 pounds. So I have 3 tubs of my cheese here that's going in. It's really thick. I've never ever bought this or used it or even tasted it, so it's very thick cheese. And it said the recipe said not to take it out of the fridge and let it come to room temperature because it'll separate if you do that. So it's very thick, as you can probably see. So anyway, all I'm going to do here is mix this up with the egg mixture and then take it out of the bowl. It doesn't take that long to mix in, it just has to kind of incorporate. Okay, so let me do that and I'll get back with you. Alright, so I have the egg mixture with the mascarpone cheese all mixed in together, so to transfer it to another bowl. And now I'm going to do something else I have never done, and it's to make whipped cream. I know it's probably kind of seems like a simple thing, but I've never made it before. So it calls for 3/4 cup of a heavy cream, and it also said not to clean the bowl out, which I thought was kind of weird, but it's all going to go get mixed together. So I'm going to get this going. I'm going to mix it for about 1.5 minutes on medium speed till it gets frothy, and then I will turn it on high for another 1.5 minutes until it holds a stiff peak. So check back in about 3 minutes and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so that took a lot longer than 3 minutes, but my whipped cream is holding a stiff peak. I've always wanted to do that. So it's holding a stiff peak, so I think we're ready to go. So now all I'm going to do is to take 1/3 of it and fold into my mixture here. So I'm going to use my spatula, take about 1/3 of it and gently, so I don't knock a lot of this air that I just whipped into it, I'm going to just fold it in real gently. And I'm not a really good folder, so it makes me nervous. I think you do just a little bit because it is so dense with the egg mixture and the mascarpone cheese. You want to get a little bit of it started to kind of loosen it up and kind of lighten it up. Once I get this in really well, then I'm going to add the rest of it. Okay. Let's see. Once I get this all added, I'm going to be ready to assemble my tiramisu. I'm really excited about that. I'm now ready to assemble the tiramisu, and I'm very excited about this. So, the first thing I'm going to do is dip the lady fingers into a strong mixture of coffee. The coffee I used is what we get at Costco all the time. We love it. It's called Ruta Maya. And we get the medium roast because I feel like the medium roast is pretty strong. So this should be really good for this recipe. The lady fingers I just got at a local grocery store in the bakery section. I've never had lady fingers either, so this is a first. So the recipe says to take half of the lady fingers, dip it, roll it, and remove it, and put it in my pan. And the thing you want that I've read about on tiramisu, you don't want to soak it. You don't want to have soggy lady fingers, which sounds kind of funny. But you don't want to have soggy cookies or a cake in your tiramisu. So you just want to do it very quickly. The directions say this should only take 2 to 3 seconds. And I really feel like I'm not going to use anywhere near this amount of coffee mixture. So here we go. 1, roll it down and in here. Try that again. It soaks it up very fast. It's a sponge cake, and so it's gonna soak your liquid up very quickly. So you just wanna do it as fast as possible, okay? I'm gonna finish dipping my lady fingers in the coffee, which sounds really funny, and then I'll show you the next step. I'm now going to take half of my mascarpone cheese mixture and make one layer on top of my lady fingers. These are what they look. This is what it looks like, all dipped in my coffee mixture. And I'm gonna take about half. It said to use a rubber spatula, but I'm using my offset spatula because I think I can get in the little nooks and crannies and smooth it all around a little bit easier. Maybe I'll use the spatula next time to put it in there. This is gonna take a while. But all you do is I'm gonna take it in there, smooth it around, and then I'm gonna sprinkle my cocoa powder on there. Alright, so let's see how that looks. Get a little bit more on there. And you want to make it a nice, generous layer. I don't know if you've had tiramisu in the restaurants, but you know, if you have, you know it's a nice, thick, creamy layer that goes right on top of those lady fingers. So we'll see. Probably just a little bit more. Like maybe about half or so. Okay. Try to make it all even so it looks pretty when you cut into it. Okay. Or maybe we're going for the rustic look. That's the nice way of saying messy. It's not messy, it's rustic. All right. So now I'm going, let me just make sure, yeah. 2 tablespoons of my cocoa powder. So I've already measured it out. I'm gonna use about half of this. And you wanna do this so you get like a nice covering, a nice dusting. Oh, it's looking so pretty. And I mean, really, can you have too much cocoa powder? I don't think so. All right, so I got that. I'm just gonna do another layer of my lady fingers, and then another layer of the mascarpone cheese mixture, and then another layer of cocoa powder. So check back in a few minutes, we'll see what it looks like. Here is my first attempt at a tiramisu. I think it looks pretty good. It's a little messy around the top, but you know what? For my first try, I think it looks great. I did kind of grate up a little bit of chocolate and sprinkled it on top of the cocoa powder because, you know, you cannot have enough chocolate. So it's ready to go. I'm gonna cover it with some plastic wrap and then stick it in the fridge and serve it tomorrow night. They say to refrigerate it 6 to 24 hours, so we're well within that time period. I will say, I really thought the recipe was easy to follow, but this is how much coffee we have left. It called for 2.5 cups, and I probably have at least 1.5 cups left. So next time I make it, I'm not gonna use as much coffee. This is, as my husband put it, this is just a waste of good coffee. So that's the only thing I'm probably gonna do different next time. I may also look at my favorite store, Cake Stuff, see if they have a rum extract, just to get that flavor in there. They have a lot of different flavorings and extracts, so I bet they have something there. But that's gonna be for next time. So I'm gonna get this in the fridge, get it chilling, and then tomorrow I will let you know what everybody thought about it at our dinner. So if I don't tell you, then it didn't go well. But hopefully they like it. I think it looks great, and we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. Okay, so we have my good friend Mike here. He's trying the tiramisu. So tell me what you think, Mike.
We on? Oh,
yeah, you're
we
on.
Okay. Oh well, I would say the texture is very creamy. I really like how it's shaped. And now hold on. Hey, it's spot on.
Yeah.
You can taste the coffee. It's not like overpowering the flavor of the rest of the tiramisu.
Okay, so you would eat that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You have it. All right.
3.9.
3.9 out of 5, not 10. Thank you,
Right,
Mary.
out of 5.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Brayden, so what do you think of the tiramisu? Because your opinion matters the most. So what do you think?
I liked it.
Yeah? Is
Yeah.
it going to be good for your birthday?
Yeah.
Okay, anything I should change in it?
No.
Okay, well, there you go. Have a very happy, almost 14-year-old here. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Well, all right, thanks for watching, everybody. And from my kitchen to yours, have a wonderful evening.